Hi, this is Ron with Amazing Mile Marker Stops, and we're at Cumberland Island. Previously on Amazing Mile Marker Stops, Ken learns how to handle the lines on board Elixir. We go shopping on Jekyll Island. And we take advantage of the more than 20 miles of trails and bicycle around Jekyll Island's historic district. Although you've seen us anchor off Cumberland Island in several of our previous videos, we hadn't had an opportunity to film Cumberland Island and show you what it's like. So we planned a trip to Cumberland Island. We invited our friend Angelia to come along with. This would be her first trip on Elixir and her first time anchoring out overnight on any boat. At the last minute, Marie left to attend a funeral for her uncle in New Mexico, so unfortunately she would not be with us on this trip. So last night we said, whoever gets up first, wake everybody else up. We'll get ready to get underway. And we're all up. I can. And you can see that's, now, you see the clock. It is it's 5:57 in the morning, and everybody just woke up. Nobody had to wake anybody up. So I think we're excited to go. So we're gonna eat some breakfast and get underway.
jumping. There you go. Beautiful job. There you go. Come on.
After a nice day on the river, we finally reached Cumberland Island. Cumberland Island is the largest of the islands off Georgia's coast and is only accessible by boat. If you don't have a private boat like we do, then you can access the island by ferry, which runs out of St. Mary's, Georgia. But tonight, for Angelina, it's all about fishing. Unfortunately, about all she caught was sharks, and she caught so many, I think about somewhere between 11 and 15, that Ken started to call her shark bait.
Who's gonna take them off?
No. Not me.
That's a pissed off shark. Oh, Jesus. Please don't be Daddy. That's another freaking shark.
Hey, that's a longer shark.
That's a
a
bull.
hammerhead.
That's a hammerhead shark.
You got a hammerhead shark.
Take a picture.
I'm taking a video.
Okay. How are we gonna get it off?
Okay, wait a minute. I got the net. All right, I gotta stop this video.
All right.
There he is, right there. That's another shark.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, let me tighten my line. Again, next time you need a rod and reel, proper tackle stick, and a fishing license.
The next morning, we took a short dinghy ride over to the Sea Camp dock. Private boats are allowed to dock at both the Sea Camp and the Ice House docks on the north end of the docks. If you're small like our dinghy is, common courtesy says dock on the inside to leave the outside for bigger boats. Whether you arrive at the Sea Camp dock or the Ice House dock, the entrance fee of $10 per person is paid by putting the money in an envelope and sticking it in one of these boxes. A receipt is provided so that you have proof that you paid.
Okay, so this is the camper check-in. This is called the base camp, and over there, back in the back in the woods here is where everybody comes camping. So they take the ferry over, they bring their gear with them, and they go back up in there and they can camp. There's some other campsites they can go to. We're going to go inside the ranger station, take a look, see what they got in there.
Cumberland Island has a rich history spanning back before the United States was even a country. The first to build there was James Oglethorpe, a prominent figure in founding many of the towns along coastal Georgia. After the Revolutionary War, Nathaniel Greene, a Revolutionary War hero, acquired a sizable chunk of land on the island, and his widow built a mansion there. In the 1800s, another Revolutionary War hero, Henry Lee, and father of Civil War Commander Robert E. Lee, lived on the island until his death and is buried there. After a quick lunch, we took the dinghy to the ice house dock. In the late 1800s, a portion of the island was purchased by Thomas Carnegie, brother of Andrew Carnegie, and he built a large mansion and continued the name that everybody had been using called Dungeness. After his death, his wife lived there and continued to buy property to build mansions for her children, and eventually end up owning about 90% of the island. In the 1920s, the Carnegies finally moved out from the island, and the Dungeness mansion was destroyed by fire. Today, the Dungeness ruins are preserved by the National Park Service.
Hello and welcome to Cumberland Island National Seashore and our on-sale tour. This tour is one tool you can use to learn some fascinating stories and interesting history.
You are standing in front of the ruins of Dungeness, a mansion built in the mid-1880s by Thomas and Lucy Carnegie. These ruins are but one of numerous visual reminders of the Carnegie era here on Cumberland Island, but the Carnegie Dungeness represents only one layer of this area's rich history. In 1783, Revolutionary War hero Nathaniel Greene obtained half of Cumberland Island and began cutting and selling live oaks. Although he died in 1786, his widow Catherine Littlefield Greene and her second husband Phineas Miller moved to Cumberland Island around 1800 and built a 4-story, 68-foot-tall tabby mansion that they called Dungeness, and which stood in the same location as this Dungeness. The Greene-Miller Dungeness burned in 1866 and stood in ruins for 15 years, acting as a tourist attraction and inspiring tentative plans for a hotel. In 1881, however, Thomas Carnegie purchased the property, tore down the Greenmiller Dungeness ruins and built his own house in its place. The Carnegie Dungeness had 37,000 square feet and is estimated to have cost $200,000 to build. Abandoned in 1924, it burned down in 1959, rumored to have been set on fire by poachers.
Marie is always encouraging me to improve my videos, and one of the things she likes to point out is that I continually forget dramatic effects like people's feet walking up steps or across rocks or in the sand. So, Marie, this one's for you. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to flip over to our travel guide at amazingmilemarkerstops.com and like us on Facebook. And remember, don't just cruise.
Visit Amazing Mile Marker Stops.
See the head to come up. I'll be there in a little bit. Jump every 2 foot.
Where's my tissue? Seriously, I have contacts in.
Walk toward my voice.
I